Hello, I'm Gabby Stone, and today we're going to teach you about ground reaction forces and skiing. So ground reaction force is a reaction force provided by something in which one is moving. Here we measured in three components. So we have F of X, F of Y, and F of Z. So our three forces, F of X, medial lateral, F of Y, anterior posterior, and F of Z is our vertical. These are measured with a force plate. So the force plate, little thing here, you step on, and it measures all of these forces. So to kind of give you an idea what we're looking at, the negative force of the body weight coming down, plus the positive vertical force coming up, ground reaction force, is going to equal 0. And so think Newton's third law for reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So how does this relate to skiing? So the skier coming downhill through the giant slalom gates, coming around. So on the corners, they're on the edge of their skis, and then on the straightaways to the next gate, they're on the flat of their skis, generating more force going forward. How does ground reaction force relate to injuries during alpine ski racing? The first of the two articles I looked at focused on the turns being set in a course, and how they would affect or how they would increase or decrease in injuries. So if they were set like this, or if they were set this way, how that might affect them. The turns, of course, being where the highest ground reaction force can be found in the race. I'll explain that, I think, in the second article. So the second article I looked at how trunk loading during turns affected your injury. And so here's a brief overview of each of the articles. Alright, so in the first article, course setting and selected biomechanical variable related to injury risk in alpine ski racing, an explorative case study. So this study looked at how a race course setting, how it's set, the gates are set, affects how likely a racer is to be injured. They looked at a world-class racer and had them run two different courses with different horizontal gate settings, so different ways that these were set. So while they didn't end up finding a difference in how they set it, they did find the different patterns, the ones that caused them to run longer, had higher fatigue rates and found more out of balance situations, forcing the skier to lean further backward and inward, something you don't really want to do when you ski. The big problem with the fatiguing is alpine racing, the course comes down to hundredths of a second, so the more fatigued you are, the less likely you are to be focused. You're not focused during a ski race, a lot of catastrophic things can go wrong. You've seen a bunch of the videos online of like Lindsey Vonn crashing out, breaking eight bones. It's terrible. So you see them coming down. So they always need to be focused, so fatigue isn't going to allow them to be focused. Alright, so in the second study I looked at potential mechanisms leading to overuse injuries in the back in alpine ski racing, a descriptive biomedical study. This study looked at how sport-specific back injuries in alpine skiing are affected by the loading during a giant slalom turns, and how possible it is that frontal bending, lateral bending, and torsion of the back is a mechanism for overuse, resulting in injury. So as they go around the turns, how they're converting their back and how they're carrying a lot of weight, resulting in injury. So they did this with 8 European Cup athletes performing runs on 2 different parts of skis. They measured spinal disc loading and overall trunk loading, measuring total ground reaction force with pressure insoles. When turning, where ground reaction force is the highest, so instead of being flat, it's kind of spread out there on their edges, it's centralized, it's focused in one area. The highest values of frontal bending, lateral bending, and torsion of the back were recorded here. It's concluded that these patterns were related to high spinal disc loading and were important factors leading to overuse injuries. So in conclusion, ground reaction force plays a big role in skiing and consequently skiing injuries. If skiers were to receive this information, they could practice how to better avoid injuries in the turns. While the turns of the place are the highest ground reaction force, they are also where most and some of the nastier injuries occur. This information could also be useful for when racers are just learning and still working on their transformations from edges to flats in the turns. I know this would have been extremely useful for me and could have avoided some of the better injuries I had. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. There's 2 links to my articles in the description below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. Have a great winter and safe skiing.